Siding day 2, well underway. We're going to take a walk around and see what there is to see. It's a bit noisy. They got the posts done, as you can see, all those standing. Um, it's all hands on deck on the siding. Multiple saws, generator going. Let's take a look. Here on the back, all posts installed. The gray and the wood grain siding being installed. Step up a little closer here. It gets real finicky around these windows. Sorry if the camera's bobbling. I'm just trying to walk up here. It'll look nice. Just about got the side here completely done. A little spot around that window. Meantime, I have a very large pile of dirt that I need to start moving that around too. Just fill in and direct water away from the house. I need it compacted pretty good because I also have to build a concrete pad for the heat exchanger to sit on. And we trenched the electric in. It's being mounted on this back wall as well. The front with all the posts installed. I wanted to show something here I noticed. As I move, watch the front edge of those posts. They are set so precisely. I had to step back a minute here. Just about wrapped up with the cherry is the name, but the wood grain trim. Just about done installing that. Now that also, the wood grain is a new option this year from Buckeye Steel. So one of the guys in the crew here has never even installed it before. Nice. It's so nice. He wants to put it on his own house. It really isn't much more than the normal siding. So it wasn't a big expense to upgrade on the portion. I don't know. Maybe it costs an extra $100 or something. It wasn't much. Our posts are in place. The notches were made very nicely. You can see it passes through behind the beam right up to where the ceiling will be. Hasn't even fully settled in place yet, and it's a nice clean look. All of this is going to be a tongue and groove ceiling, and you can see they put a lath strip in there to drop the trim down because we will be mounting all the tongue and groove onto lath strips the full length. So I made sure I had some there. They mounted the trim to that instead, so I don't have to make adjustments later, which is very nice. Another notch in the next post. Again, I just appreciate they did a nice clean job. Minimal tear out even on the sides of the beams or the posts. You can see there's a few little dings from the beam wrap. A few dings in the beam wrap where putting nails and whatnot. That's okay. Glad we did go with that beam wrap. That cleans everything up very nicely. And the next post, you can see that goes right up to the truss. So I will trim the tongue and groove ceiling around them so those posts will look mostly like they go right up through. Now here we've got a transition between the beams and the trusses. And so we thought about having those posts on the inside go straight up to where the ceiling will be, and decided against it. It was a lot. It seemed to take away from the overall look. Now we've got a little shelf. Maybe we'll add some little spotlights as backlighting. But they made a nice clean job of having all the wood meet together. We had most of the cherry in place on the front. None of the battens yet. This one took some time. He had to spend quite a bit trimming around all the windows and the doors to get a clean look. but he's got everything fitting very nicely. We still have to do trim around the front entrance there and at the bottom. Obviously the battens need to be put in still. Here's the other side post. Now these are actually supporting those trusses. And then, the outer corners, again, those pass all the way up through to the ceiling. We'll end up sanding these a bit before finishing. Here we have how the Novik stone meets the window and the upper board and batten. There's a Z channel that wraps over the top. The Novik stone doesn't look perfect. It doesn't look like real stone when you get up close. You can see the seams if you're looking for them. But from 20 feet away, it's the look we wanted, and the price point was correct. I had them put some black trim behind there before they got everything kind of finalized, and then they've got this gray channel trim that snaps into place around the windows. Again, just to clean up the whole overall look. I do think the ash gray board and batten was a good choice. It's a nice look. The battens snap in pretty tight. And then there's a little bit of texture to the board sections. You can see that. Gives a little depth to it. And everything rests nicely on that Z channel. So any water that might get behind is going to be forced right down and out of the wall. But that gives a good view of what it'll look like when we're done. The guys just left a little bit ago. They cleaned up some of the big stuff, so the dumpster's almost full now. Lots of little stuff. I'll have to take the magnet out, you can see behind me. But they got a lot done today, so let's take a walk around and look. You'll be able to see we've got most of the battens in place. So we've got some short pieces over the windows that still need cut and installed. But we get into the cherry board and batten wood grain, in front at least, that is done. I think that looks very nice. As I say, it's done. I don't have the trim around the door, and we don't have the kick plate, but board and batten is done. Back here, we've got the siding all installed. They still need to do the battens. But that looks good. One thing I noticed as I was walking around the side of the house here, I guess two things. First, I constantly refer to this as the back of the house, and it's not. It's the side. I think it's because we drive in to the other side where the garage door is, and we think of that as the front. But it's not. It's also the side. The other thing I noticed, they also don't have the trim in the window J channels there, so you can see the white of the window and J channel along with the gray of the siding. So they will get those trim pieces installed as well next week. We'll just walk around here. And all the posts installed. And they were just short a little bit on the cherry wood grain. So they'll have to get, he says actually two pieces, it's 1.5. They'll have to be cut down. We'll get those next week. We'll get them in. The space in the rafters there, I need to put up blockers between each of those trusses with vents to allow airflow to circulate and evaporate any moisture, but also to prevent weather and wind and whatnot from getting up in our insulation, because that's of course where all the bloated insulation will be. So I will start working on that very soon. So get this completely weathered in. Around here to the front, lots of details. They probably, just judging by how fast they did all of this, I'd bet it's 1, maybe 2 days of of exterior work here before they're done. Thought I'd do a sign off in front of our new front entrance. On the front of the house, which I someday will get set in my head is the front of the house. These guys did a lot of work in a couple of days with the siding and trim and posts. There's still a bit to do. I'm seeing that not as many windows are trimmed out uh, as I thought they were. And so, yeah, they've got 2 days worth of work anyways. But I'm sure they will get that handled quickly. Their boss called me as they were leaving just to confirm that everything was good and want to let me know that, they weren't quitting. They just had a weekend. So good enough for this week, and we'll see them next week. Thanks for watching.